Good afternoon. I hope you had an opportunity to catch my video from yesterday where I shared my story about where I was, how I got to where I am, and uh, just the details, the ugly details of my past and how I've made a better decision for myself. So today I just wanted to come on and just talk with you just about a lot of the things I see and hear. So I get on a lot of calls with potential clients, with a lot of women, and I actually get into DM conversations with a lot of people. And the things that I'm hearing are just truly, they touch my heart. But a lot of you are having a hard time. A lot of you are struggling, and a lot of you have been in that unhealthy relationship, that toxic relationship. Not all unhealthy relationships are toxic, so that's why I use both words. But you've been in those relationships, and even though you've ended the relationship, you've cut them off, you started moving on with your life, you're finding that you're feeling stuck. You're finding that so many other things are coming up and you don't know why. And you find yourself in these patterns, these unhealthy patterns. Some of them are unhealthy relationship patterns. Some of the patterns aren't even related to your relationships, but they show up in other areas of your life. And you're not even aware that what you dealt with in the past is actually impacting that other area of your life. And that other area can be your health. It can be your professional life. It could be just how you show up when it comes to exercising, with going for that new job, for stepping out in opportunities. It could be your social life. And if you're noticing that there's a change with how you are now compared to how you were before you've experienced that trauma, that's really a good sign that there's something going on inside of you. And I'll just talk about how it looks. So when it comes to the different aspects of life, I'm just going to go through these things. So when it comes to your relationships or dating, marriage, whatever type of relationship you have, and this can even be with your friendships as well, it shows up in different ways. So if you have the unresolved pain, you might be dealing with emotional triggers, and that's where somebody says something or they do something and you just lose it, or you start crying. You just have this emotional trigger, and you know, you feel like it's uncontrollable, but it happens and it's impacting your relationships. And it may happen also when it comes to your friendships. And it could just be a simple phrase that's being said that triggers you, or a situation. Another way that it shows up in your relationships is, your lack of trust. That's huge. So many people do not trust based on their experience that they've had, because they did trust and they got hurt. And so you decided, I'm never going to trust anybody ever again. I'm never going to open up, never going to let anyone get close to me. And you're thinking that you're protecting yourself, but truthfully, you're creating a barrier, and you're keeping not only the potential pain out, but the potential love, the potential companionship. You're keeping everything out. So you have those blocks, and that's impacting your relationships as well as your friendships. You might be showing up where if you were someone in your past experience where your voice wasn't heard, you may not speak up, and you're not speaking up with your desires. You're not telling people what you need, what bothers you. You're not sharing your feelings, and that impacts your relationship, because either you're the type of person who's like, it doesn't matter, I'm not going to say anything, or you're the type of person with that, well, they should know. And the truth is, no one's going to know what you think, how you feel. You have to communicate those things. But if you're doing that, and it's because you're not speaking up, and when you don't speak up, a lot of times you connect it to your experience, because when you did speak up, no one listened to you, or you were criticized, or you were called names, called stupid or dumb, told you were an idiot, or you made bad decisions. So you just kept your mouth shut, and it became a pattern for you to keep your mouth shut, not just with offering opinions, but now with speaking about how you feel, your thoughts, your desires, your ideas, so that's how it shows up. On the flip side, you might be a people pleaser where you're trying to fix other people's problems. And you can have both not speaking up and people pleasing ways. But you're fixing other people's problems where you're diving in, trying to fix things for them. And really that's you controlling a situation, and you're trying to control how people are viewing you. Because for you, the rejection is just is too much for you to deal with. So you're doing the people pleasing behaviors where you're doing stuff for people. You're making things happen for people. If they need something, you say yes, even if it puts you in a very inconvenient spot. It puts your priorities last and puts your plans out of the way and makes you have to change up your whole day. You're giving, 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 and then you're feeling drained. And with all that, you feel animosity, you feel frustration, you feel anger. You start feeling some kind of way towards the person because you said yes. And now you're in a situation where you can't take care of things. You put out their fire. Now your whole life is on fire and you've got to figure it out, but you don't speak up. So you don't ask for help. And that's another way that trauma shows up, where you're not asking for help because you have I got it. And, that was me for a little while. I got it. I had it. And it wasn't that, I wanted to be the strong, independent woman. It was, I didn't trust anybody to do things for me, because when I did in the past, not only were they unreliable, but they would throw things in my face. They would mess things up, and it was just worse. And it was so much easier for me in my peace to do it myself. So you get into that habit of doing things yourself and being that I got it woman or that I got it man, where you're not asking for help. And then when someone offers, you say no because you have your trust barriers up, and then you're unable to receive. And that's the other thing, is being able to receive, because receiving makes you feel uncomfortable, and that is also related to your trauma. And for those of you who are people pleasers, who are givers, maybe some of you say you're empaths, think about it. Have you ever had someone do something nice for you and you just felt uncomfortable and you told them to stop, or you felt like you had to give back in order to balance it out? You have an issue with receiving, and that's something you have to work on. And it may not always be just receiving help, but even receiving compliments. When's the last time someone gave you a compliment and you simply said, thank you? How often are you responding to compliments and you're saying things like, oh, this thing, or, oh, it's no big deal, or I didn't pay much for it, or you somehow have a rebuttal for the compliment because you're not able to receive it. That's your trauma. That's your trauma showing up. Okay. Other ways that it shows up, and this can impact your professional life, is with your confidence. A lot of you say, I'm confident, but then when we get to talking, we start getting down into the layers. I see that you are having confidence issues. And these confidence things are coming up with you stepping out in certain situations. You might be confident, like let's talk about dating and relationships. You might be confident with having multiple surface level relationships where you're just going out with people, you're having sex with people, you're dealing with multiple people, and you're confident with approaching people in that manner and making that happen. But you're not confident enough to build with someone. You're not confident enough to show up with somebody and grow, because you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid you're not good enough. You're afraid that you can't give them what you feel like they deserve. You're afraid that they're going to see you and the way you see yourself, and you think that they're going to walk away. They're going to leave you anyway, because in the past someone left you when you gave your all, right? So why wouldn't they? That's your trauma. So you're not confident in those situations, in those deeper level connections, but you're confident in these surface level, shallow connections. But that's not confidence, okay? Confidence is being able to show up no matter what and have that feeling. You're also dealing with self-esteem issues where you have insecurities. Maybe You don't think you're pretty enough. You don't think you're attractive enough. You think you're overweight. You think you're underweight. You don't think you have the right clothes. Your hair's too short. Your hair's too long. It's too dry, too frizzy. Your skin's too blotchy. Your skin's not clear enough. Your makeup isn't right. You don't know how to do this. You have every criticism for every physical aspect about you that other people really aren't paying attention to. And that goes back to when you do receive a compliment, you have a hard time receiving it because you think you're this person over here, but they're seeing somebody else that you can't see. So your perception of yourself is off. So I see a lot of these things. I hear you speaking of a lot of these things, and I want you to know that I get it. First off, if you are able to resonate with what I'm sharing, with what I'm talking about, don't criticize yourself. Give yourself grace, give yourself love, because criticizing yourself is just going to make everything worse. And stop overthinking everything, because I know that's what you're doing, showing up and you're overthinking. But I wanted just to come on and share that with you. And if you resonate with any of this, I understand. And if you would like to chat with me, feel free to slide into my DMs. We could schedule a call. I'm offering complimentary, hey, how you doing? Offering complimentary 30-minute calls where we can get on together. We can chat about what you're going through. And then I can tell you how I can help you. Or if I can't help you, I can give you the resources of someone who can help you. Even if you don't work with me, I want you to do the work so you can get to a better place, so you can experience happiness. You can get rid of this baggage. You can clear out these barriers, these blocks that are holding you back in your life, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your professional life, whether it's your social life, whether it's your health. Oh, let me talk about health real quick, because I'm a nurse. Your well-being is at stake when you don't heal from within. That trauma that you hold within you impacts you down to your cellular level, and it impacts you long-term with chronic diseases, chronic illnesses, chronic conditions. So your insomnia that you're feeling, the anxiety that you're feeling, the stomach aches that you get, the migraines, all that stuff is related to the trauma that you're holding in. And then long-term, this trauma, your body can't balance. You can't become hemodynamically stable. I'm gonna just use that term, that medical term, but you're out of balance, and your body tries to compensate for it. And after a while, your body's like, I can't do this. So then you start having things like hypertension. You start having things like diabetes. Your weight comes into play because you might be emotionally eating and you're gaining that weight. You're not exercising because you're fatigued. You're just too tired because you're not sleeping. You can't focus at work. But it all ends up being a whole domino effect. So healing is not just about, oh, I'm a heal so I can learn to trust people, but I'm a heal for my own well-being. I'm going to heal so that I'm healthy. I'm going to heal so I have longevity in my life, and I can actually enjoy my life and have happiness and have healthy relationships and healthier connections and show up in my professional life. I'm making those decisions where I'm not holding myself back, and I'm jumping out in front of the fire and doing what I have to do to live my dreams. So once again, DM me. If you want to send me an email, my email is admin@paulanicolegood.com, and that's ADMIN, admin. And then my name on all social media outlets, Paula Nicole Good. So I want to wish you all lots of love, lots of peace, and many, many blessings. Have a good day.